Hello and welcome back to another Tutorial Tuesday. Today we will be talking about stone setting and setting a stone in this rink. For our tool list today we have a brass bezel pusher, a burnisher, these acrylic bezel pushers which are called Smooth Set. You can search them on Etsy and they should pop up. I also have all of these things linked in my Amazon storefront in my bio. I have a different kind of acrylic bezel pusher linked on there. A rawhide mallet, my ball vise with a piece of leather in between so that it does not mark the metal. If you are setting something besides a ring, this is when I would use Thermolock to set the stones, but today for a ring, I'm just gonna put it in my vise. First things first, I put my ring inside the ball vise and I tighten that up. After tumbling, my bezel always gets a little deformed and gets pushed in, so that's when I take my burnisher and I actually just push my bezel out with that. And then I just pop my stone in. Once the stone's in, I will start pushing down my bezel, and for this stone, I'm gonna do all of my corners first so that I can get it even all the way around. And then I'll go through and I'll hit all of my sides. Once the bezel is pretty pushed down, that's when I start hammer setting just to get that really flush bezel against the stone. And that's when I take my rawhide mallet with an acrylic bezel pusher and I just hammer set that bezel just with little taps all the way around. And just more hammer setting. This guy I use on the corner right here, and I'll tilt it and just use that to get a really fine point hammer. When I do my hammer setting, instead of doing the setting from like this way, I do it from the top so that the bezel kind of gets really flat against the stone. I just feel like I get a more flush set when I go kind of from an up above angle. If I have a stubborn bezel that doesn't want to get pushed down in a certain spot, that's when I'll take my brass bezel pusher because it is a little bit stronger than the acrylic, and I'll use that to really get that bezel down. Here it is all finished. You can kind of see those edges still are a little bit marred, but not nearly as much as with a steel bezel pusher. After this step, I go in and I use my silicone wheels just to clean up those edges. That is it for today's video, so let me know if you guys have any additional questions. I'm happy to help.